Hello guys, it is time for another movie review, and this one is for a new Warner Brothers animated movie. It's Scoob, and of course you know it brings back Shaggy, Scooby, Fred, Velma, and Daphne, but what makes this story different is that it reveals how Mystery Inc. all came together, and also specifically how Shaggy and Scooby first met. But of course this is a Scooby-Doo story, so that means there's a mystery that needs solving, and in this case it pits the group against familiar Hanna-Barbera villain, Dick Dastardly. For anyone out there who's always enjoyed the Scooby-Doo characters, Scoob is a welcomed adventure and an excuse to spend time with them again, but on the other hand, I also do suspect that if you're a longtime fan of the brand, there might not be enough fun and also depth here to really make it satisfying. And as a kid who loves genre and spooky things, I always got a really big kick out of how the ghosts were always just a real person who put together an elaborate stunt. And there is a little bit of that in Scoob, but not nearly enough. And instead, the meat of the story revolves around a truly supernatural threat, and I personally found that takes away some of the source material's charm. And then there's also the whole superhero thing, which didn't really work for me much at all. Just like the nature of the original mysteries, I always loved the fact that Shaggy, Scooby, Fred, Velma, and Daphne were basically just a group of kids trying to piece things together. Of course, they all worked with a talking dog, but their missions always had a really grounded earnestness to them, which is why I connected with the material so much. Here, though, we see the addition of the superhero angle, and the biggest problem I have with it is that it doesn't really add anything to the film, except for maybe some bigger visuals and set pieces, but even those frills don't do much more for me. Just to give you guys a little context on why that is in this movie at all is the fact that when Shaggy was a little kid, he idolized a hero called the Blue Falcon, and when he gets older, he gets the chance to meet and work with him. I know it might sound like a really cool idea to have a whole bunch of Hanna-Barbera characters together in one movie, like, of course, Blue Falcon, Dynamite, Dee Dee Skies, Dick Dastardly, but it just doesn't really come together with much purpose. Whether you're a fan of Hanna-Barbera or not, if you're into the characters, I can't imagine that their presence amounts to more than a, oh, look, cool, they're here. And if you're a total newcomer to the brand, it all just doesn't really come together in a powerful way to bolster the story either, which I think is the bigger problem here. As for the voice performances, they're solid across the board, but I wouldn't really say that anyone popped enough to kind of steal the show, although I do think that Mark Wahlberg was especially well cast in his role, and as far as the visuals go, there is a lot of great ones here with bold, vibrant colors and stunning set pieces, but because the story and the connection to the characters didn't work super well, it still feels like a whole bunch of being, I guess, just shown cool locations and not necessarily feeling the atmosphere of them. I'm gonna go ahead and give Scoob 2.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. The movie isn't bad, but it's just plain old fine. If you're a diehard Scooby-Doo fan, there is some appeal in seeing the characters back on screen together, but I still don't think it was done well enough to create much urge for me to tell you to go and see the movie ASAP. Younger moviegoers, however, they could have some fun with this. It could be a different story for them with the colors, the goofiness, the silly humor. That might appeal to the kids out there, but as an adult and even as a big Scooby-Doo fan, I would still suggest taking a pass on this one. So there you guys go. Those are my thoughts on Scoob. And if and when you see the movie, when it's made available this week, hit the comment section below. Tell me what you think about it. As for me, I'm going to say goodbye. But before I do, I've got a Patreon shout out for my top tier members. And they are Evan, Luke, Billy, and Steven. Guys, thank you so much for always being here. You guys have been part of the team for quite a while, and you're a big part of the reason why I can do all this at home in New York. So thank you guys so much for the continued support. Big thanks to everybody out there for watching this review. I'm going to see you soon with more of them.